our whole school data shocked us at how quickly it was working. So as Mandy mentioned in the intro, we used this over remote learning and were shocked at how quickly some of our students who weren't reading at all were now blending and reading words and then reading decodable texts. But it also pointed out how lacking our senior students were who'd not received this level of teaching. So prior to my arrival, we were doing whole language, balanced literacy, and our year 4, 5, 6s hadn't had any phonics teaching. So this was our data from term 1 this year. These are our current year 1, 2s. Across the top, you can see stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's expected knowledge by the end of prep in Little Learners Love Literacy. So the green are the sounds they knew, the red are the sounds they didn't know. And as you'd expect in 1, 2, so last year's preps and 1s, especially with remote learning, quite good results. This is our current year 3s. They were our year 2s last year. They received the phonics instruction and phonemic awareness instruction in term 4, and throughout remote learning, their data seems good too. The next data set is our current year 5, 6 class, and remembering it is just to the end of prep sounds they should know, so single sounds for the majority of it and some digraphs at the very end, and the data looks like that. So we've got a majority of students not knowing what sound the letter U makes, the letter X, that QU makes Q. If I ask them just the Q, they can tell you it's Q, but we always see it with a U, and they couldn't. There was 2 students that could tell you it was Q. So when you compare that to our junior school, it's quite alarming to look at the results, and I think it's worth assessing your whole school just to see where they're at. So we've since had our tutor and the classroom teachers and our aides working with these students, and a lot of those red are now green because we've now gone back and retaught all of those sounds to the students. But without this data, we wouldn't have known that that's what they were lacking. They can read whole words, majority can read to you, but if they come across a word or a name or a term that they haven't seen before, they're going to really struggle to break down each sound in that word to say it. The next slide is just our whole school. So you would think the top would start with prep, but the top part of that is our 5, 6 cohort, and then it drops down. The next in the middle is our 3s, and then down below our 1, 2s. So that was just a little bit of an eye-opener for us to show that this is working. The phonics is the right approach for us, and these kids in our prep to 3 cohort will be able to decode words they haven't seen before, whereas our seniors may not be able to do that with the obvious lack of sound knowledge. So the second activity that I had in there was looking at some sounds or letters and what sounds they could make. So once we get past grades prep and year 1, where we have the scope and sequence of sounds, we then move on to looking at alternate sounds that those letters can make. So CH, we can say makes ch as in cheese, it makes sh as in chef, and it makes k as in character. So I guess the next one was, the activity is for you, how many sounds does the letter C make? So when we teach this to our year 2 students and we come across the letter C, we might explain to them the different sounds that C can make, not just K. So I'll give you a minute to sort of type into the chat. You can put some words in the chat that make the different sounds. So we all know K and S, so you might write cake and city as 2 of the sounds, but how many different sounds can C make? So that's interesting for our students. When they do look at it, they obviously have been taught the 2 main sounds that C makes, but there are going to be exceptions to the rule, and there'll be occasionally words where it makes a different sound.
So Greg, some of the common answers that are coming in, a lot of people are saying K for cat and S for circle, or K for cat and S for circle. That seems to be a lot of the answers, saying C makes 2 sounds. Yep. Then someone has said 3 sounds, and I'll tell you the words: cinema, cat, and ocean. And someone else said cello, council, and city. So most people have said 2 or 3 sounds. No, a few people are saying 4. They're not writing a word.
You've just mentioned 4 just then. So I'll put them up on the screen there for everybody. So it does make 4, and I think all of those words were mentioned. So it does make k as in cactus, s as in city, sh as in ocean, and ch as in cello, which somebody typed into the chat. So there are 4 sounds that we would then teach the students. And again, you're not going to come across many ch as in cello or sh as in ocean words, but it's something that we do explain to the students, all the different sounds that it will make from year 2 onwards. And then when they get up to year 3 onwards, we look at the etymology and the origins of the language and why perhaps they're making those sounds. So I guess the big question after we looked at our data and we showed all of our teachers the 5-6 data, how do we fix this? So we need daily systematic synthetic phonics instruction in every classroom. So that's our prevention. We don't want to intervene. We don't want to have an intervention model eventually. We want to have all of it as prevention. We need daily phonological awareness drills and daily paired fluency passages, which I'll talk about later. You need to know the data for your class or cohort of students. If we didn't know what our 5-6 data looked like, we would have just kept going the way we were and not helping those students. So you need to know what it looks like, as scary as it is, as scary as it was for us to see. And you must differentiate the teaching. It's not one size fits all. You need to work out where your class are, but then where are individual kids who have got gaps in their learning. It is going to help all students learn to read, however. It's not going to leave anybody behind by doing this, and it's not going to disadvantage those top students by doing this.